What's up, everybody? I'm playing the role of Dana White today because I was thinking about it, and I really want Kaya Sakura to beat Pantoja. I want to get Pantoja out, the most boring champion ever. Nobody wants him. And with Kaya Sakura winning, it occurred to me there's another Japanese title contender right now in the flyweight division. And I want to build a UFC card in Japan centered around this idea. If Kai wins and if Taira wins another fight, what would a card look like for that? And I kind of went balls to the wall, and I want to make this card similar to the Sphere with how it feels super special. And like, there's a lot of things that made the Sphere special. Obviously, the atmosphere. There's no Sphere in Japan, but we can do some things that'll make it feel fun. Like the ring girls. All the ring girl outfits were so cool during the Sphere. Like, I'm really into like clothing stuff like this, like fashion. This was badass. Let me tell you something, kid. This was badass. And with the custom fight kits too, like, there's so much cool stuff that we can do to make this UFC event feel special. And that's what we're going to go over. Like, we're going to base this whole event off of Pride. FC. Very, very important that you include the FC part. But obviously Pride is from Japan. Super big. I mean, they would sell out, like 50,000 seat stadiums for Pride. Had so many legendary fighters from there, and it was bigger than the UFC at the time. And obviously the UFC bought Pride, owns the rights to everything. Let's make this event based around Pride. It's in Japan. Let's get some nostalgia points on the board. And let's just make it feel badass, dude. For the fight kits, I mean, we can do a lot of things, but just to save on money, because the UFC loves doing that, let's just do the normal shorts, have the little red sun and a faded Pride logo behind it. You can't really tell it's faded there, but, like a cracked stone type of effect on top of the Pride logo. Make it feel like it's ancient and the UFC is the new thing, like it's building on top of Pride. And then for the fight shorts, let's also use this cool font that I made. I think that'd be really cool to have like a new font or a specialized font with people's names on the shorts. And a cool thing that I've noticed during Pride fights is the outside of the cage or the ring, it's completely pitch black, but there will be flashing lights, and it's a really cool effect. It's like paparazzi almost watching the fight. You can tell in a couple of these images, like, you just see some lights in the back, and I think that's something that's super cool that would add to the feel of the event, and it would be super cheap. So I say we do that. Just put up some lights in the crowd that flash every once in a while. Make it just feel like Pride during those fights. And for the first three fights, let's bring back some Pride ring girl outfits. I mean, every fight you can do new colors, and these are super cheap. It would be stupid for the UFC to not do this. It'd be so badass having like the old Pride logo and these new, or not new, but the classic Pride ring girl outfits. And it would cost the same as the ones they're making now. I mean, these are not hard. Oh, spoiler alert. But it would be sick. It'd be sick to have a different ring girl outfit. For the next fight, you guys already saw Barboza versus Salal. This is a crafty vet hanging on by a thread to the rankings versus a guy who's right there. I think Zalal is a super well-rounded mixed martial artist, and Barboza, he's a crafty vet. He's crafty, he's old, versus the young and new. Let's do this fight. It would be badass. I mean, people love Edson. They have this idea that he's a super crazy striker. Pride loves striking, man. They love a good badass brawl. I think this fight makes sense for the featherweight division normally, and I think it'd be cool to have it in Japan to show off the striking and see if Zalal can neutralize it. For the next fight, this is a Pride main event from like 20 years ago. Michel Pereira, Sharp Bullet. Tell me this is not a Pride event. If Pride was still around right now, these would be like fighting for a belt in Pride. These guys are both crazy strikers. This would be a badass fight. You just know it would. Sharp Bullet's right on the cusp of the rankings. Michel Pereira's at the bottom end of the rankings. This would be badass. They're both big and bulky. Come on, this is literally a Pride event. As long as it is 3 rounds, because we don't want to watch 4 rounds of Michel Pereira not even be able to throw one punch. And for the featured fight, it's a little unrealistic. I'm going to be totally honest with you. But we're here to talk big dreams. Have any of these guys fight each other. Any of these legends. 3 of these guys are from Pride. Obviously, Lyoto's not. But you know what? It's badass still. He fits right in with these guys. Have any one of these guys fight in a matchup for a featured fight. Huge nostalgia points. And you know it'd be sick. People would go crazy. Be like, oh, Vanderlei versus Rampage again. Obviously, Rampage hates the UFC now. Probably wouldn't do it, but come on. Let's give him like $1 million. Be like, hey, just come back for one. And he'd be like, okay, fine. This would be sick. This would be a nice, a really awesome featured fight for fans in Japan too. Because, I mean, especially Rampage and Vanderlei, huge in Japan. Superstars. This would bring in so many people in Japan to come to the event as well. And people getting a nostalgia boner for it. I think this would be great. Any one of these guys fighting each other would be a great featured fight. Now for the main event, let's talk about the ring girls first. Okay, I know what you're saying. You're like, what the fuck did you just put on the screen? Just chill. Hear me out. For the main event, obviously, I already kind of spoiled it. It's going to be Kai versus Taira. They are the future of MMA in Japan. So let's have the ring girls represent that future, have like this cyberpunk armor type outfits. I think this would be super cool, and it'll especially be a nice dichotomy with the co-main event, ring girls. But yeah, obviously, I think this should be the main event. And I'm talking about the main event first because I like the co-main better. I'm gonna just be real. But so this main event with Kaya Sakura, Tetsuro Taira. I'm going to be honest, I never seen a Kai fight. Never in my life have I seen one. But I hear he's pretty sick. So, and he's fighting for the belt. Hopefully he wins, and that's why I'd want this whole card to happen, is if Kai is the champion, this is the fight you make. Give Tatsuro a free win, and then put them up against each other. This would be a sick fight, especially for Japan. Obviously, then no matter what, Japan leaves with a Japanese champion, the future of the sport in that country. I think this is a great fight. Should definitely be the main event. Now for the co-main event, let's talk about the Ringo outfits. Tell me this isn't badass. Black samurai armor. This would be super cool. Just, you look at this and you're like, damn, that'd be badass, dude. Both fighters in this co-main event also love ancient Japan. So it's a representation of them, and also, like I said previously, a dichotomy with the past and the present co-main main event. You know this would be sick. You just know it, dude. Oh, embarrassing. Co-main event. Come on. Tell me this isn't badass, kid. Tell me this ain't badass. You got the crazy wild man finisher Yuri versus the, quote unquote counter striker Izzy. Stylistically, on paper, fantastic matchup. Just badass, dude. And both of these guys are coming off losses in championship fights, and neither of them really have name value in each other's division. I know Yuri's probably scheduled for Jamal, but is Jamal Hill really all that? Let's be honest. Is Jamal Hill really all that? I don't think so. So let's have Yuri fight Izzy. And Izzy, obviously, the only person who's not a champ or not somebody he's lost to in middleweight that has a name is Hamzat. He's not going to fight Hamzat right now. So the other options for him are what? Nasruddin Imavov, Cal Barajo, like those aren't crazy names. They're not gonna bring in a lot of money for him. Somebody like Yuri, who has a lot of name power and is a good stylistic matchup for him. This is a fight that Izzy should want. And you can do it at 205 or 185 because Yuri said he wants to go down to 185. I think that's a horrible decision, but for Izzy, that'd be great. Get a free knockout of Yuri, but Yuri could also finish Izzy too. I think this is a sick freaking fight, and if we make it 3 rounds, you know the pace is going to be insane because these guys haven't fought in 3-rounders for years. This would be badass, kid, let me tell you. And also, tell me the embedded would not be hilarious, dude. Just imagine this. Imagine Yuri walking up a mountain under a cherry blossom tree training with a samurai sword.
Adesanya is and was a great champion, and I am honored to share the cage with him. But I have evolved much, and I will finish him. Let's go for that.
Then it cuts to Izzy in a noodle bar talking about Naruto.
I love Naruto. I mean, this is what it's all about. Me and my arc. Me and Yuri are on the same path, and one of us will be the winner.
Like, okay, that is the impression. Kind of fell off at the end, but that embedded would be so funny to see these guys in Japan because they each have such different views and loves for Japan. It would just be sick. It'd be badass. So yeah, that's the card for Japan that I would love to see if Kai wins. And sort of as this is sort of outside of that video now. Kind of what I want to do for the future of this channel is I want to make stuff like this where I'm just making up things that I want to see. And I want to do a lot of UFC stuff, but I also want to do things that probably not a lot of UFC fans like. Like one of the things I want to do is I want to make super in-depth video of like the perfect Mario Kart game that I would want to make. I want to do a lot of stuff like that where I'm just making stuff up as a fan to see what I want to see as a fan from things I like. UFC is one of the biggest things I am a fan of, but there's a lot of other things. So if you're interested in seeing random videos, stick around. And I'm having a lot of fun making YouTube. This is my 3rd video. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Have a great day. See ya.